Today, we will have a tutorial on adding a restart and menu options in a memory game. The number on the left is the score and the number on the right is the number of moves you have left. This is what happens when you win the game. And this is what happens when you lose the game. This is the how to play screen. Before we add the restart and menu options to the game, we will change the design of the game. To add a joker card, a card you cannot open, you will just simply copy and paste any card you want. Now, you will have to double-click any card. Use the selection tool and select the design of the card. Proceed to deleting the design. Now, we will create a design for the back of the card. In this case, we chose to use the text tool and just used the website's abbreviation. We move on to the second set of frame labeled card 1. Select the design of the card and delete the design. Get creative when creating a design. You may use the different tools in the Tools panel. In this tutorial, we used the rectangle tool, the ellipse tool and the line tool in creating the monitor, mouse, and keyboard. Now, go back to scene 1. Move the frames labeled game and the frames below it to the right. As you move these set of frames, you will notice that your frames labeled loose will expand. Select the 40th frame and right-click. Choose Insert Keyframe. Do the same for the frames below. Now, select the 50th frame, right-click, and choose the option Insert Keyframe. Do the same for the frames below. Go back to the 40th frame. Go to the Properties panel and look for Label. Add a name to your frames in order to label it. We labeled our frames Go to Menu. Once you observe the frame, you will see that the objects from loose frames are in the Go to Menu frame. Select the items and delete it. We will now add the Go Back to Menu option. This will display once the player clicks on a menu button on the game. We will get to this later. Using the text tool, we will prompt the user if they really would like to go to the menu. The user is given the options yes or no. The next step is to go to the 50th frame. Create a label for the frame. We labeled the frame's restart menu. Remove the objects in the scene by selecting them and then deleting. Restart menu will be displayed once the player clicks on the restart button in the game, which will be discussed later on. For now, we will prompt the user if they are sure of restarting the game. The user will also be given the options yes or no. This was created using the text tool. Go to the first frame under the label game. We will now create the menu and restart options for the game. Using the text tool, type in the word restart. Also type in the word menu. Right-click on Restart. Choose Convert to Symbol. Rename your symbol to BTN Restart. Also make sure that the symbol type is a button. Go to the Properties panel and change your instance name. We changed it to BTN Restart. Double-click on Restart. Go to the timeline layer and right-click on the second frame. Select Insert Keyframe. Do the same for the remaining frame. Once you're done with inserting keyframe, go back to the second keyframe. You will now change the color of the button. You may choose any color you like. Now go back to scene 1. Right-click on Convert to Symbol. Rename your symbol. Make sure that under Type button is selected. Change your button's instance name in the Properties panel. Double-click on Menu to exit out of Scene 1. Right-click on the second frame and choose Insert Keyframe. Do the same for the rest of the frame. Go back to the second frame and change the color of your menu button. Do the same for the rest of the frames. Go back to Scene 1. Go to the Go to Menu Frames. Right-click on the object Yes. Choose Convert to Symbol. Rename your symbol and make sure that under Type button is selected. Click OK. Do the same for the object No. Now, double-click on the Yes button. Select the second frame. Right-click and insert keyframe. Do the same for the rest of the frame. Once you're done, go back to the second frame and change the color. Do the same for the rest of the frame. After doing so, go back to scene 1. Do the same steps you did for the No button. Now, go to the Restart menu frame. Right-click on the Yes option and select Convert to Symbol. Rename your symbol and the symbol type should be a button. Click OK. Do the same steps for the No option. Double-click on the Yes button. Select the second frame. Right-click and choose Insert Keyframe. Do the same for the remaining frames. Go back to the second frame and change the color of your button. Do the same for the remaining frames. Then go back to scene 1. Repeat the steps for your No button. Once you're done, go to scene 1. Go to the frames labeled Game. Select the Restart button. Go to Code Snippets. If you can't find the code snippets, go to Window and choose Code Snippets. Once the window for code snippets opens, go to the Timeline Navigation folder. Double-click on the option Go to Frame and Stop. You will be directed to the Actions window. You will find a block of code in there. Delete the number 5 inside the parenthesis and change it to quote-unquote Restart menu. Do the same steps for the menu, but the only difference is that you will replace the number 5 with quote-unquote Go to Menu. Now go to the Restart menu frames. Select the Yes button. Change its instance name. Then, go to Code Snippets and choose the Timeline Navigation folder. Double-click on the Go to Frame and Stop option. You will be directed to the Actions window. Change the number 5 in the parenthesis to quote-unquote Game. Do the same steps for the No button, except change the number 5 to quote-unquote Menu. Now, go to the Go to Menu frames. Select the Yes button. Change its instance name. Go to Code Snippets and choose the folder Timeline Navigation. Double-click on the Go to Frame and Stop option. You will be directed to the Actions window. Proceed to change the number 5 in the parenthesis with quote-unquote Menu. Repeat the same steps for the No button, except you will change the number 5 with quote-unquote game. And we're done with adding the restart and menu options to the game. This is what the game should look like now. As you can see, the Joker card is unclickable. Now we will test if the restart button works. Once you click restart, you will be directed to the restart menu frames we created a while ago. If you click yes, the game will restart. If you click no, you will be directed to the menu. Now, for the menu button. Once you click the menu button, the game will show you the go-to menu frames we created a while ago. If you click yes, you will be directed to the menu. If you click no, you will be redirected back to the game. And that's it.